Hello again, guys. This episode's gonna be a lot of really terrible reading. I'm giving you that in advance. If you want to skip past it, it'll be the next part. I'm just gonna read every information thingy in this part. And then yeah, because I checked and there's a lot of it. So let's just check everything at once. The hiring hall. Alright, so I guess I could get Mech Warriors here. Let's go. Oh, I love that. I wish I was a backer. So that's really cool that you're allowed to like make little guys. Let's see, store. I guess I could buy parts here, sell parts. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Locust, Panther. Command Center. Contract. I only have one contract in the Free Worlds League. Actually, interesting. 12 days journey. Jesus Christ. I'll get back to that later. Darius.
What do you need?
Let's see what he has to say. Sorry guys, I'm a lot happened after my recording yesterday, so I'm a bit off. My stomach doesn't feel so well because of those things that happened, so I'm doing my best. I'm excited to play the game, but yeah, just a heads up if my voice acts weird or there's a lot of cuts, because I have to cut and start over when I can't talk. Always good to see you with Ops, Ken. Can I do something for you? I want to know more about our death situation. Yeah, sure, that's fair. I'm glad you're taking an interest. I've got time to get into the nuts and bolts of it if you do. If you do. What did you want to know? Remind me why we took out so many loans in the first place? How much time you got? I mean, we've been hit with 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Koro, my dear. That sounded like I said Koro, my dear. But I guess you're mostly interested in the big ticket items. Well, first and foremost, that's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship, and losing her isn't an option. Then you've got all the sword and fallout from the Impalm Troop trip across the frontier. Jump ship passage, docking fees, miscellaneous travel expenses, all paid for on credit, as if we had a choice. There's more that I could get into. The loan we took out set up Markham's family, etc, etc. That'd be gilding the lily at this point. The fact is, we're in a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders. But hey, we're mercenaries. We live for trouble. Who are we in debt to exactly? I want names. How about I give you the top 3? First, you've got the Blue Horizon. That's the big commercial bank in Lyreton. A system in the Oregon frontier. Lyreton was formerly a Capellan garrison world. Lost after the second succession war, the population of Lyreton is spread across 3 tropical moons on the system's large gas giant. Of the system, yeah. Each moon is independent, and civil conflict between the moons makes the system a tense and dangerous place. They're the ones that own the lease on this ship. Then there's an injury consortium. You've got people everywhere, but they're based somewhere in Merrick's base. How's Merrick? We read this. We borrowed from one of their associates to make jump away from Coromir on the day of the coup. Finally, we've got Lockdown Landing, the frontier outfit from Heister, and they're about as crooked as they come. Now, I wouldn't normally do business with an outfit like the Double L, but we didn't have a choice. They made a deal with Blue Horizon to buy half of our debt. So that's the big 3, commercial bank, a shadowy financial consortium, and a bunch of leg breakers in cheap suits, and each of them is dangerous in its own way. That's enough talk about money for now. Let me ask you about something else. I've got some questions about running this company. Sure thing, Militus. I'd be happy to help. What do you want to know? Remind me about what I need to know. Oh god, there's so much stuff. Remind me what I need to know about mercenary contracts. Outfits like ours depend on the mercenary review board to post certified contracts working for reliable employers. I say reliable, let's face it, Ken. Most jobs come down to us doing the work that the rich and powerful can't be seen doing. Mercenaries are deniable, assets. What intel will I get about a contract before I accept? Most employers will give us enough info to understand who we're fighting and why. Some are cagier than others, but by and large they want us to succeed. Because of this, we generally get enough intel to get the job done. It isn't a perfect system, it works well enough. There are a few things to look for in a contract. First, you need to understand what type of mission it is. Next, you should take account of the climate conditions in the area of operation. Finally, it's important to note the expected strength of the opposing force, or outfor, file even. Okay, so that's climate. That's something I have to look out for. Interesting. You know, I just realized the music is a bit loud, so I'm gonna try to maybe turn it down. I don't know. I feel like everything is a bit loud, so maybe just turn on your general volume. Tell me about the types of missions we may be offered. In my experience, most contracts come down to one or more of the basic ideas. Blowing something up, taking someone down, keeping something safe, or making a mess with heavy ordnance. There'll be variations here and there, sure, but most part our jobs are gonna fit into one of those categories. Giant bipedal weapon platforms aren't exactly known for their subtlety. So, tell me what climate conditions is what I just said, sorry. For some reason that cut out. If you're not watching the climate conditions, you're not in full command of the battlefield. In most environments, you gotta watch your mech warriors' weapon fire and jump jet use so they don't overheat the battle mechs. Badlands and deserts make your mech run hotter, so you're gonna want to pay careful attention when you're fighting there. Low atmosphere, non-terraformed planets are worse. It'd be wise to swap out some energy weapons for ballistic weapons in those environments, or pack on some extra heat sinks. But the vacuum of the lunar environment is the worst. It's counterintuitive. I know, it's basic gold, right? But no atmosphere means basically no heat dispersion, and you're sitting on top of a fusion reactor. You should jump shit sparingly, or you'll be shut down in no time. That's one thing I don't like. From what I see, when you get overheated, like in the tutorial, you take damage, you don't just shut down. This is the mechanic I miss. Tell me about mission difficulty. Nope, sorry. Tell me about mission difficulty. It's important to have an idea of what you'll be up against once your lance hits the ground. Unfortunately, mercenaries are often on the ass end of a mission intel, and most will usually get is a rating of the enemy's overall strength. At best, the mission's difficulty rating will give us an idea on our post-mission repair bills and medbay time, or a signal that we should avoid the mission altogether until we can bring bigger guns. Cool. Let's go back a second. Can I withdraw from a contract? Absolutely. That's the great thing of being a merc. It isn't our fight. We're here to make money, not die for cause. You can back out of a contract negotiations at any time with no harm done. But once we deploy on a battlefield, it gets a little trickier. If things start going sideways during a mission, you can withdraw to save on repair bills and medbay time, but it may still cost us. If we withdrew before achieving any objectives and destroying at least one enemy, the Mercenary Review Board will rule us as bad fate roll. Ooh. Sounds bad, don't it? Not only will we not get paid, we won't get any battlefield salvage either, plus our reputation will suffer, both with our employer and with the MRB. Now, if we withdraw after achieving objective and destroying at least one enemy, then the board will rule this good fate withdrawal. Our pay will still be reduced, but our reputation won't take a hit, and that's important for business. One last thing in this subject. If one of your mechs is getting banged up bad and it looks like a mech warrior may not make it out alive, you can order them to eject during combat. Sumire will fly a suborbital and cover them, and we'll scoop up their mech after the mission. Okay, I know I forget to read this last part sometimes, sorry about that. Tell me about reputation. Our mercenary outfit's reputation determines the quality of contracts we're offered, the quality of mech warriors willing to hire on with us, and the deals with it, and the deals we get on weapons, mechs, and equipment in local stores. Most employers won't offer us really juicy contracts until we've proven ourselves over time. But once the rep is solid, we'll get access to some high-paying gigs with opportunities for some serious battlefield salvage. Nice. Okay. So reputation is important. Cool. If I can help getting that, I'll do that. Why is salvage so important? If sea bills are like blood, salvage is like food for a mercenary company. Or something like that. I don't really do analogies. Let's just leave it at salvage is good. Here's why. Salvage lets you replace components you've lost, or upgrade your mechs to better suit your combat tactics. And if you don't end up needing the salvage you get, you can always sell it off at the nearest store. Salvage rights are a time-honored tradition in the mercenary trade, and figuring out who gets what at the end of an engagement is a vital part of our business. In addition to sea bills, most contracts will offer salvage, reflected as a ratio like 2:10. The first number represents how many priority salvage items we get to handpick after a battle. The second number is the total amount of salvage we'll get, subject to the whims of our employer. You can negotiate salvage rights for every mission you accept, so keep it in mind. Okay, that's kinda cool. How do I negotiate a contract? Mercenary contract negotiation is pretty straightforward out here in the periphery. It's all based on the golden triangle: sea bills, salvage, and reputation. Sea bills are the coin of the realm, so to speak. We use sea bills for travel expenses, upkeep of our ship, salaries for our crew, and repairs or retrofits to our mechs. Sea bills will keep us flying. Salvage is part of Take 2. The more salvage we take off the battlefield, the fewer sea bills are deposited in our account. The fewer sea bills we ask for, the more salvage we can get. Now, you may want to take less money and less salvage in order to increase our reputation with the party offering the contract. Yeah, it'll cost us now, but the investment can really pay off later down the road. This looks like something I might do, especially early on. I'd like to ask you about something else. Go ahead, ask whatever you need. Tell me about how our outfit finances work. It's pretty simple, really. Every 30 days we have to pay the crew and cover our regular operating expenses. Upkeep for the mechs we have ready in our mech bay, upgrades to our equipment, things like that. Oof, that sounds expensive. So, if we don't have enough sea bills to cover our operating costs in a month when our financial report comes due, we're out of business. Work life doesn't allow for a second chance. Remember that when you're ordering weapon refits and ship upgrades. Make sure to reserve enough to cover our monthly nuts. Ooh, fuck, that sounds nasty. I'm sure that this is obvious, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. How can I raise the operating costs of our company? Obviously, the more mech warriors you hire, the more you've got to pay out each month. Nonetheless, it's a good idea to have a strong bench. You never know when someone's gonna take one in the meat and be out of action for a while. Okay. Any upgrades to the ship we make will have upkeep costs too. Yeah, they're advantages, but they're advantages that require ongoing maintenance, and that costs sea bills. How can I lower our operating costs? That seems more wise. Well, for starters, consider putting the mechs you don't plan to field for a while into storage. Although it'll require time and sea bills to refit their equipment and ready them for combat, stored mechs have no upkeep costs. By the way, remember that you can sell mech chassis and equipment if we're ever low in cash, or you see something shiny in the store you've just gotta have. Anyway, back to operating costs. You can always dismiss a mech warrior if you're having a hard time making a payroll. And every month, you get to decide how generous to be with their pay. Careful though, a mercenary's salary has a direct effect on their morale. Yeah, that makes sense? This just got a lot more complicated, holy crap. Let's talk about my mech warriors. Sure, what do you want to know? How much you have to worry about their morale? Mercenaries aren't like members of the Royal Guard, Militus. They're in it for the paycheck, not some loyalties to some noble house. Because of this, keeping their spirits up is important. Ah, shit. You need loyalty to me, though. I was hoping for loyalty. Mech warriors with high morale get inspired more often on the battlefield. Their heads are in the game, and inspired mech warriors can create opportunities. I've seen inspired mech warriors make precision strikes they thought were impossible, focusing their fire at one location on a speeding enemy as if it were standing still on a shooting range 25 yards away while wearing a sign that said, "Shoot me" in neon green. Inspired mech warriors show amazing vigilance too. They seem to have a certain uncanny ability to blunt incoming damage and have heightened reflex, so they act faster in the battlefield. Amazing stuff. Alright, so those are the abilities I read last mission. On the other hand, I've seen mercs with low morale up and leave an outfit like ours without a warning. Sometimes you'll see it coming, sometimes you won't. So yeah, you need to worry about their morale, Militus. You're the boss. What sort of control do I have over their training? Mech warriors gain experience in every mission they complete. You can chart their training and guide their development in 4 skills: gunnery, piloting, guts, and tactics. As they become stronger in a particular skill, your mech warriors gain access to special abilities that can be used in combat. First ability is the mech warrior's specialization. Mech warriors can have only 2 specializations total, so pay attention when you're training them. The first two they require are the only 2 they'll have. Oh. Wait, what? Interesting. Second ability is the mech warrior's expertise. Mech warriors can only get 1 of these, and it has to be from one of their specializations. Whichever expertise they learn first is the first one. Is the only one they'll have. So 3 abilities total per mech warrior. That's a lot of possible combinations. You'll need to decide for yourself which abilities work best together according to your command style. Ugh, that's limiting. I don't like being limited. Lastly, nearly every skill also increases a minor boost to some facet of combat performance. Mech warriors can become more accurate at ranged or melee attacks and keep their mechs stable longer under sustained fire, or take more injuries before being incapacitated. Hell, you can even get better at taking called shots when the opportunity comes up. Do more experienced mech warriors require higher salaries? Wouldn't you? As mechers grow in skill and abilities, their salaries will grow as well. Sorry, I was thinking about salad. It's possible to hire skilled mech warriors in the hiring hall of the systems we visit, but they'll have higher salary requirements than mech warriors you've trained yourself. I'm definitely training people then. Is there any general info you'd like to share? Things happen on a mercenary ship, Ken. All the time. You throw a bunch of mech jockeys in a confined space with technicians and crew for months on end, you're gonna see some spillover from the battlefield. And operating on a mech outfit isn't a glorious lifestyle. These are hard choices to be made on a regular basis. Anything from breaking up a fight over petty bullshit to dealing with faulty power couplings. Still, I wouldn't trade this for just about anything. We go where we want, we fight who we want, and we have only one god we obey, the mighty Seabill. Yeah, and you, I guess. Well, it's the merc life for me, Militus, and all the way to the end. It's a hard knock life for us. That's enough instructions for one day, Darius. Thanks. No problem, Militus. No problem at all. Got a few minutes to chat? I like to catch up. Yeah, sure. I've got time to talk. Before any of this started, you worked with Arano Royal Guard. Tell me about it. It was more than just deployment. It was a full campaign. High Lord Almighty gave us a job back in 19. We were supposed to be assisting the Royal Guard to run up and eliminate a pirate clan on Fjolder. Commander Markham thought it'd be easy money. Turned out to be anything but. Fjolder. Fjolder was originally a Capellan colony world lost in the Succession Wars. It is a bleak ice planet swept constantly by howling winds and blowing snow. The original colony was largely underground, built in the sides of a deep kilometer-wide shaft that breached the ice that envelops this world. Fjolder survives on its rich mineral resources and its position as a well-connected hub world near the inner sphere. We had a dozen mech warriors in 3 months we lost a dozen mech warriors in 3 months of the Fjolder campaign. Had to hose them out of their cockpits. Ugh. Would have been more if it wasn't for Sir Raju. He saved our people's asses on more than one occasion. Went out of his way to do it. The thing is, he didn't have to. We weren't under his protection, we were hired to help. A lot of people in Master's position would have used us as cannon fodder. That wasn't his way. He treated us as if we were his own. He was a good man, Ken. As good as he can. Tell me a bit about yourself, Darius. Where are you from? I grew up on Nausea Heights. It's one of the hab stations orbiting R2. R2, Jesus Christ, all these fucking names! 30 decks of economics stratification, with the corporate suits on the upper decks and everyone else crammed into the lower ones. My old man was dockhand. We lived on deck 28, 2 levels up from the bottom, with the other station maintenance personnel. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. My dad would load and unload cargo shuttles, vacuum sealed that thing, and nutrient paste for people like us, and luxury goods for the suits upstairs. A bioengineered crop that serves as a staple foodstuff on the sphere. Quillar looks like an ordinary grain but grows to twice the size of Terran corn and can be retextured and flavored to mimic a wide variety of fruits, grains, and vegetables. Oh, that's fucking badass. The old man must have unloaded 1,000 crates on oh my god! Casildan, eelrow, plump, succulent eggs the size of melon balls. Never got to taste any though. Any of those tins would have cost him half a year's wage. Casilda, an aquatic world famed for its bountiful deadly oceans. Casilda's human population is clustered on volcanic island chains along the equator, while the oceans are ruled by a vast array of native predatory life forms. Casildan's seafood is sold as delicacy through the rimwork periphery. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, Ken, I don't want to sell you with my life story. Suffice to say that I got an eye full of what I didn't want to be on Heights. I did what I had to do to change my circumstances, and by the age of 16, I struck out on my own. I left that station with a handful of skills, an enormous web of contracts, and a rucksack full of that expensive caviar. Once I made it off Heights, I never ever looked back. I'd like to talk about something else. Just kidding. Go around there, yes, bye.
I'll see you.
Let's see what the others are doing. Mech Warriors. Now these are the ones I have. Oh, I got another one.
Commander.
Medusa. Okay.
Waiting for orders.
Glitch. Can I change these somehow? Ah, that's stupid. I really hoped you could manually change all of them. That would be cool if you could make our own little register. Oh well, maybe it'll add a mod. It is a paradox. No, is it a paradox game? I don't actually know. Okay, mouse, can you not? Sorry. Let's see.
Waiting
Behemoth has a lot of piloting and guts. Good for melee. Okay. Defender. What does that do? Bulwark passive gains guard at 50% reduction against range attacks when remaining stationary. Okay, so I gotta make her stand still.
Receiving you.
The Decker has no specialization. He was a spider, a light mech, I think. He's got a very nice, like, evenly spread out thingy.
Good to
Glitch
go.
Gunner. Multi-target. Is she even looking at oh, okay. Fire weapons up to 3 separate targets with this mech's current firing arc. Cool. I obviously don't have service records. Oh, cool. Look at that. Deployments, other kills, stays with company. Oh, so those mech kills didn't even count in the first mission. So can you choose your bloodline? I don't know. Oh yeah, I like this. I'm a bit regretting that I went loner instead of betrayed, I think, but whatever. I have no salary. Sad days. You know, I'm probably gonna just put up my gunnery a bit because it's really crap. Maybe. There we go. So I got more base weapon chance hit now, more indirect fire, less indirect fire penalty. So artillery good. Probably not doing this right,
Commander.
but what is this? Commander, this is you, the commander of your mercenary company. You cannot be killed in combat, but can still be injured and or otherwise sidelined through normal means. Okay, interesting. Medusa, what are you good at? Piloting. You know, I'm just gonna before I get their actual first skill, I'm gonna even them all out a bit.
Training complete.
Probably a really bad idea.
I hear ya.
I don't
Mech warrior training complete.
Good to go.
That created a lot of
confirmed,
experience.
Commander.
Yes, Commander.
Training complete.
Yay! Oh wait, now they cost more, don't they? Shit! I shouldn't have done that. Mech Bay. Base. Maybe I'll just go talk to Yang.
Need
first.
something?
Hey boss, welcome to the Mech Bay. My own little piece of heaven right here on the ship. Something I can help you with. Sorry if I sound racist, but his name is Yang and I'm trying to, like, you know. I want an assessment on the Leopard. How much trouble are we in? Don't know. I mean, we're doing okay for the moment, but give it a few months, maybe a year. You know how it goes. Eventually, everything falls apart. Maybe a drive system will give out. Maybe some debris will perforate the hull. Who knows? And on that day, we're gonna need to be able to cover our repair costs. And if we can't, well, that'll be that. I have a few questions about the Mech Bay. Yeah, then hit me with it. I'll do what I can to answer. I mean, I don't want to wax poetic or nothing, but the Mech Bay is where the magic happens, boss. It's the beating heart of a mercenary outfit. Anything I should know about the Mech Bays themselves? Beyond each cubicle holding one battle mech? Not much. It's all about capacity. The more mechs we have, the more mechs we can keep battle ready. And the more mechs we have battle ready, the more flexibility you have in your deployment options. Let's say you had 2 blackjacks, for example. A decent medium mech, for sure. I know your family gave you yours. One could be loaded out with lots of energy weapons for using colder environments where they bleed heat quickly. The other identical blackjack could be loaded out with ballistic weapons that require ammo but generate much less heat. Smart for deploying in warmer climates or in vacuum where heat dissipation is lower. Why use mech storage? A few reasons. First, we have limited capacity in the Mech Bay, so we need to store the overstock for eventual sale or for use in the future. Secondly, we don't pay upkeep costs on mechs in storage. That's a business thing though, not my department. Third, and this is important, whenever we pick up partial mech salvage from the battlefield, I put it in storage for you. If we gather or buy enough partial mech salvage to complete the battle mech chassis, my team will assemble it right away. You will let me know if you want to keep it in storage or have it ready for combat. Battle mechs are expensive as hell, so assembling one out of salvage is our best bet for expanding our roster. What happens when a mech goes into or gets ready from storage? When you send the mech chassis into storage, our mech techs dismount all of its weapons and equipment and place them in your inventory for use of other chassis. A chassis can stay in storage indefinitely, and don't worry about storage capacity, boss. I'll make it fit, don't you worry. I'll make it fit. That's what he said. Now, getting a stored battle mech ready for a combat drop is a different animal. My techs will need a couple of days to bring an empty chassis up from storage. Once the chassis is back in the mech bay, you will need to select its loadout from our equipment inventory so we can start a refit. The time and cost of a refit is dependent on the type and amount of equipment you choose. Let me ask you about something else. I've been wondering about the components you can put on our mechs. One of my favorite topics. In the mech bay you can browse all the equipment we have available in inventory. There are 2 types of components I can install on a battle mech. Weapons and equipment. Tell me about ballistic weapons. You know, I know most of these from other games, but I'll do it since this is like a tutorial part in the Let's Play anyway. Ballistic weapons, such as the autocannon, pack a good punch, generate little heat, and can destabilize an enemy if they hit it enough. But ballistic weapons are, you know, ballistic, so they require ammo. And ammo can explode if it takes a hit in combat, which is bad news all around, because kaboom, bitch. Ballistic weapon, that sounded not Asian, but like Latin. Kaboom, bitch. Ballistic weapons are also pretty heavy. This sounds Russian, I just realized. Ballistic weapons are also pretty heavy and can take up a lot of space on the mech. Strengths and weaknesses, boss. Strengths and weaknesses. Tell me about energy weapons. Energy weapons don't use ammo, but they generate a lot of heat. You may need to invest in additional heat sinks to keep your mech cool if you choose an energy heavy loadout. Since they're intense beams of coherent light, energy weapons are great for cutting things up, but they aren't much good at destabilizing an enemy. The particle projector can is the one big exception to that rule. In addition to massive damage it can inflict, a hit from a PPC can destabilize an enemy, maybe even slow it down a bit. The PPC generates a shit ton of heat, but it's worth it, boss. And if that wasn't enough, it has a mild EM punch that screws with the enemy's targeting systems. Also, that's why it was like... that last match we played, the guy had a debuff to something. I guess that's what that was. His sensors were crappy. EM, I don't know what EM stands for though. Tell me about the missile systems. Missile weapons are my favorites. I said systems, I meant weapons. Yeah, they require ammo and generate moderate heat, but pounding the delivery can destabilize an enemy faster than most other weapons. And having multiple projectiles in a shot means you're almost always guaranteed at least a single hit. So as I thought, they have their own hit chances. Long-range missiles are capable of indirect fire. If one of your units has line of sight on an enemy, it can act as a spotter for LRM-equipped units that can't. With a spotter, a mech equipped with LRMs can stay behind cover and arc its missiles to hit the enemy. A spotter can increase your launcher's effective range too. Granted, the enemy can do the same to you, but that's someone else's problem. See, this is why I want a catapult. I know it's heavy and can take a few hits, but a catapult with nothing but missiles is just... I don't know why I love it. It just looks amazing. Ideally, I want a catapult armed with almost all LRMs, have like a hunchback spot, which is not ideal because it's medium, but whatever. And just... oh yeah, that's what I want. I just want to fucking glory catapult everything. And I don't want to sell short-range missiles short though. They can generate incredible impact and do great damage, but you've got to be within knife fight range to use them. Tell me about support weapons. Support weapons, what? Support weapons are lighter than the others. Small lasers, machine guns, that kind of thing. I programmed our targeting computers to automatically fire them after a melee attack if they're activated. Oh, so that's what that one small laser shot when I meleeed. Okay, cool. I've seen commanders order refits that remove most conventional weapons to double down on support weapons. With the right melee enhancing components, you can field monsters capable of point-blank devastation. Cool. Tell me about other types of equipment you can fit on a mech. It's a big list, boss. I suggest you check the store in every system you travel to. You never know what you'll find. I can install stronger cockpits to reduce the injuries to our mech warriors will take. Arm actuators that increase melee damage, so you need arms for that, okay. Range finders that increase the range at which enemies can be visually acquired, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so sweet. I'm gonna focus one on melee probably. I'm gonna have a scout with this kind of shit. That's so cool. All take up critical slots on a battle mech. Some add weight too. Keep your eyes open for them and give them a good once over before you buy them, so you know what you're getting into. Now, putting powerful weapons and equipment on your mechs is fine and all, but remember, the trade-off is always armor. You know how these say the best defense is a strong offense? They aren't on the battlefield. Don't skimp on the armor, boss. Or all that expensive equipment will be reduced to junk with the enemy's first salvo. I heard some manufacturers have developed better weapons of some weapons. Versions of some weapons. Through that, different manufacturers tweak their weapons to deliver more damage, have a higher accuracy, destabilize the enemy, a bunch of stuff. The trick is finding them. They're rare out here in the periphery, so when I see one in the store or salvage pile, I always mark it with a plus for you, so you can identify it easily. Oh, that's useful. I was gonna think I'm gonna have to like look through the manufacturers and remember which ones are good. And some equipment is rarer than others. The more plus symbols I'm marking with, the rarer and more useful they are. Keep your eyes peeled. You never know what you're gonna find. Let me ask you about something else. How do I repair a mech damage after battle? Whenever you return from a mission, stop by the mech bay here and tell us which mechs you want to have repaired. I'm not gonna assume anything. You run this outfit, so you tell me what to spend time on and money on. Okay, that's not completely true. If I see armor missing from a battle mech, I'm gonna repair it automatically. It's standard operating procedure, and we have so much scrap armor lying around that you should consider armor repairs to be free. Now, if you tell me to repair a mech containing destroyed equipment, the techs will strip it off automatically too. I'll list the equipment you strip, but you're gonna want to replace it with something. Okay, so this auto replace, cool. Anyway, like I was saying, armor repairs are free. Internal structure, on the other hand, takes time and C-bills to fix. If the mech structure is damaged or missing, I'll flag it for you in orange. Just order the repair, confirm the time and cost, and I'll get it into our work queue. What if I want to change a mech loadout? Can I refit it with new weapons and equipment? Oh, now you're talking, boss. You bet you can refit the mech. You can repair it at the same time too. Just select the battle mech and order the refit. I'll bring it to the mech lab. What can I do in the mech lab? By the way, cool arm. The mech lab is where you can... The mech lab is where you let me know what sorts of modifications you want to make to our stable of battle mechs. I can install new weapons and equipment, add or remove armor location by location. Pretty much anything you want. All it takes is time and money. We've got plenty of both, right? Are there any limits on how I can refit a mech? It's hardware, Militus. Of course there are limits. Your biggest constraints are the chest's weight and its hardpoints. I can make a mech as meching as I want. Hack friend. Negative. Mech chassis can support only so much tonnage and weapons, armor and equipment. So you need to keep its overall weight in mind when designing a battle mech's loadout. If your design is over its chassis weight, we can't accept the work order. Now, there are ways of making things fit, of course. That's what she said. Trade-offs can be made, but you've got to be careful. We have the ability to remove armor from individual locations in order to squeeze more or bigger weapons on. But the less armor is less armor. You don't want to wind up with something that'll blow over in a strong breeze. Trust me on that. I've seen it happen often enough to know. What's a hardpoint again? Each location on a battle mech contains one or more weapon mounts called hardpoints. Hardpoints are only designed for one specific weapon type: ballistic, energy, missile, and support. However, most mechs contain locations with more than one hardpoint, so you have some flexibility in what you mount there. I'll mount your mom. Let's go back for a minute, there's something else I need to ask. How do I know what a mech is good at in the first place? Great question. There are a lot of different battle mechs out there, and it's hard to know what they were built to do best just by looking at them. I mean, I can, of course, but I'm me. You, on the other hand, are gonna need some help. Thankfully, I'm a helpful guy. Hey, I won't need that much help. If you check your technical readouts in the mech lab, you'll find that I've included some thoughts about each mech's off-the-rack purpose, or stock role. They are only opinions, mind you, but you might find them useful. I've also provided access to an itemized list of equipment that a mech normally carries when you buy it as stock. Think of a mech's basic recipe. What happens after I order a refit? Once you confirm your work order, it will be placed in a queue with other repairs and refits on your timeline. Remember, a mech will be unavailable for combat until its work order is complete, so plan your refits carefully. I suggest queuing them up before we head up the next system to use our treble time efficiency. If you want to change a mech's placement in the work queue, select Manage Tasks under the timeline, or reprioritize or cancel orders. How long do repairs and refits normally take? Depends on the mech bay conditions you're working in. A good mech bay with advanced scaffolding and equipment is faster than one you'll find on a standard Leopard. I display our mech base efficiency in mech points on your travel display under finances and crew readouts. The higher the rating, the faster the repairs. Let me ask you about something else. You seem to know your way around the battlefield, Yang. Any advice? Sure, the better you lead in combat, the less work I have to do when it's over. Let's talk about heat. Yeah, let's talk about that. I can't emphasize this enough. What's your heat? Your mech warriors are sitting on walking fusion reactors out there. Using jump jets and firing weapons generates heat, sometimes lots of it. If one of your mechs gets too hot, you could do damage to its internal structure, or worse, shut down the engine in the middle of combat, leaving it sitting duck. So that can actually happen. Okay, interesting. How can I affect heat in combat? Each weapon system on a battle mech can be toggled on and off. Each time it takes action, you have done that. Most mech warriors keep their heat low by toggling off weapons with lower chances to hit. But sometimes you'll have a solid chance to hit with everything in your arsenal. That's when you gotta experiment by toggling off a few to make sure you stay below the red line. Or you go above it if you want to risk it. And watch the terrain. Moving your mechs into water over ice helps cool them down too. How can I make a mech more heat efficient? Note your mech heat rating in the mech lab and install more heat sinks on it if you find that it runs hot in combat. Heat sinks vent plasma from the mech's engine and do a lot to dissipate the buildup from jump jets and weapons fire. Heat sinks are your friend. Let's go back for it. There's something else I want to talk about. Oh wait, actually one more thing. You can also change the weapons on the mech to use more heat-friendly parts. Actually, that'll change how you use that mech in combat. Trade-offs, boss. It's all about trade-offs. Let's talk about mech stability. Yes. Stability is a smart thing for a commander to understand, boss. Getting pummeled by weapon fire is a good way for a mech to become destabilized. Walking over rough terrain doesn't help much either. Okay, tell me about... destabilized mechs can't sprint in combat and they're vulnerable to falling if hit hard enough while in that state. Tell me about how to make my battle mechs less vulnerable to weapon fire. There's a few ways I can think of. Evasion, cover, and bracing. Let's hear about evasion. That short-term version is this. The farther a unit goes, the more evasive it becomes. Shooting a moving target is hard, and shooting a faster target is harder. When you order a mech to move in combat, note the number of angled chevrons your command software assigned it. The more chevrons that are displayed, harder it'll be to hit. Same for the enemy. Sensor lock in an enemy removes 2 of its evasion chevrons and makes it easier to hit. Same goes for your unit, so be careful. Cover? Battle mechs are kinda big, aren't they? Yup, they're big and scary and dangerous, and they're harder to hit standing in forest and other terrain features. Standing behind buildings or hills is good too. If the enemy can't see you, they're gonna have a hard time hitting you. It's all about line of sight. So I'm guessing it only, like, the LRMs can only hit when I'm sighted. So the obstruction that we saw in the last mission can fit everywhere. If you're completely outside, I guess you're safe. I don't know. I don't know if it makes you off the sensors or not. I don't know. Think about it. Think about it all the time. Your enemy is, I guarantee it. If they can see you, a little red eyeball will appear above them in your command software. Okay, so that confirms that. So I wasn't 100% sure. Must have taught me to brace my mech, but that doesn't make it hard to hit. No, bracing your mech won't make it hard to hit, but it should buffer some of the damage you'll take by half or so. So think about it, eh? Let's go back for a minute. There's something else I want to talk about. Let me ask you something else. Actually, that's enough for now. Thanks, Yang. Sure, boss. Oh, no. Tell me a bit about yourself. How'd you end up with this crew? That's a long story, boss. The shortest version I can give you? I signed on after I served my term in the 3rd Succession War, fighting for the Capellan Confederation. If you want to know more, you can ask whatever you want. Otherwise, let's get back to talking shop. Did we read this one? The Third Succession War began in 2866 when Coordinator Kurita responded aggressively to rumors of the Draconis Commande's weakness, but the fighting spread to the entire inner sphere. Because the Succession State's military capabilities had been dramatically reduced in the previous two succession wars, this conflict proceeded at a lower pace and with less intensity than the earlier wars. Treaties signed in 3020 and 3022 limited the fighting, and by 3025 the Third Succession War has effectively ended. Where are you from originally? Bryant, in the Confederation. You have heard of our claim to fame, the Crowley lizard cow. No? Well, trust me, they're delicious. An edible reptile indigenous to the planet Bryant, whatever. The meat of the Crowley lizard cow is considered a delicacy and is one of Brian's few planetary exports. Anyway, as the story goes, Bryant was a really nice place once. A tourist spot, big with hikers and fishing enthusiasts, pale blue skies, emerald green seas, and a booming agricultural business. You know, the works. I never knew it was that way though. I never knew it that way though, sorry. Stephen Amaris got to it a couple centuries before I was born, and well, that was that. Stephen Amaris, you son of a bitch. Did we read this? As president of the Rimworld Republic, Stephen Amaris expanded the Republican army and placed Republican agents in key positions throughout the Star League. He fostered a close friendship with Richard Cameron while the First Lord was in his minority. When Cameron came of age, Amaris guided him towards policies that would move Alexander's SLDF, Star League Defense Force, away from Terra and place Republican forces there instead. With these preparations in place, Stephen Amaris murdered Richard Cameron on December 27, 2766, and declared himself First Lord, beginning the Amaris Civil War. Kerensky raced the Rimworld Republic and returned to Terra to defeat Amaris' forces and capture him. Stephen Amaris was executed by firing squad in 2779. His remains were donated to the medical school of university. Ha! Fuck you, man. Fuck Stephen Amaris. As the story goes, Briand used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors as he called them. The Star League put them in place. When Amaris took the system in his civil war, he had the troops use them for target practice. What? What? Fucking idiot! Without these mirrors, Briand reverted to its natural state, a miserable little ball of wind-blown dirt, actively hostile to human life. By the time I came along, the only places where people could live in relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, you can't fit a planet's entire population in a handful of cities at its poles. There isn't enough space, no matter how far down you dig or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly the poor, died in the early days. There's a lot of overcrowding in Briand cities even now. That's my childhood in a nutshell. Way too many people jammed into a tiny claustrophobic space with nowhere to go but off planet. I cleared there as fast as I could and never looked back. Gotta admit though, I do miss the taste of lizard cow. Tell me about your time in the military. Who do you serve with? The 2nd St. Ives Lancers, 1st Battalion under Major Ling. We saw more action than most. The arm is a souvenir of my time in the service. I lost the original back in 3010 on St. Loris. Let's see, the 2nd... a well-connected and well-financed regiment, the Lancers operate along the Capellan's Confederation Rimward Quarter, fending off pirates and conducting raids into the Free Worlds League. In 3025, its 3 battalions are allocated to the defense of St. Ives, Maldor, and St. Loris. I think 3025 is that the year we're in? I don't know. St. Loris is an important agricultural center in the Capellan Confederation. In 3010, a notable battle took place between the 2nd St. Ives Lancers and 2 regiments in the elite city Hussars of the Federated Sons. Much of the planet's vital wheat crop was destroyed. Oh. You know, when we first arrived in St. Loris, I loved the place. It's an agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills, you get the picture. We just walked out of hell on Kittery. The Fed rats drove us out into 05 with our tails between our legs, so it looked like paradise to us. I remember kicking back in the medic bay, my feet propped up on an engine block, sipping on a snifter of amber-grist Fairmouth. Not a bad way to spend a sunny afternoon. Let's see. Kittery. Previously under Capellan control in 3005, this inhospitable jungle world was conquered by the Federated Sons. A resistant movement kept the world a war zone for many years. In the 3020s, House Liao returned and waged war for our permanent liberation. So far, it has succeeded only in creating lasting enmity, I don't know, between the defending First Kittery borderers and the invading forces of the St. Ives Armored Cavalry. Fed rats. A person living in or whose national origin is the Federated Sons. Considered derogatory. Dude, you're talking to me, Yang. I'm a Fed rat, you fuck. You're fired. Ambergris ferment is a red and usually found in tiny bottles in pork shops. Getting a larger bottle take connections. Getting rid of it, well, you'll have to wage war or something, I guess. Anyway, turned out the Federated Sons weren't done with us yet. We barely had a month into our deployment when he sent the SETI Hussars to burn us out. I'm sure that there was sound strategic reasons for House Deviant to want St. Louis, but it sure felt personal to me. The SETI, I'm assuming from the city, the system, Alpha SETI or SETI and Centauri, whatever. Created by the Federated Sons in an effort to replicate a light horse-style regiment of the Star League era, the combination of mech and mounted infantry was... I'm gonna assume not actual horses, was ideal for conducting swift raids. The Hussars also encouraged personnel to dine together regardless of rank or branch of service, prompting a high re-enlistment rate. Oh, cool. Long story short, one of the scouts managed to slip through a perimeter and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat at the time. Being surrounded by all that armor is the only reason I made it out alive. Still, I didn't make it out unscathed. I lost my two favorite assistants and my own right arm, and I still get this ugly thing grafted onto me as a reminder. Yeah, I'm guessing this. Rumble seat, an optional secondary passenger seat can be built into the control area of a battle mech. Rumble seats are positioned away from all control system and injection equipment. Those who ride in them have no control of the mech itself and are utterly at the mercy of the mech warrior in the cockpit. Oof. And yet, here I am, doing mercenary work for a living. Some people never learn, huh? Why'd you leave the Capellan Confederation? They're pretty cool. After my tour of duty was up, you mean? I don't know. It was just time for a change. Besides, the plan wasn't for me anymore. Place wasn't for me. In a way, it never really was. I learned a lot from my time in the service. Got a first-hand view of elitist bullshit that saturates Capellan culture. How it rewards highborn idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. When my tour was over, I walked away and never looked back. You never really get away from aristocracy, Yang. Hell, I was born a noble. Yeah, but you're competent, noble, and aren't afraid to get your hands dirty. At the end of the day, that's all I really care about. I wonder how many times I watched talented engineers get passed over for promotion, so some idiot with a title could advance. Too many to count. See, I don't mind aristocracy necessarily, but like he said, that should not happen. Same with women and men, or different color skins. You should be promoted on your skills, not on your, your looks. For what it's worth, I'm glad that you walked away. You brought my mech back from the brink more than once. Heh, way more than once if memory serves. Still, I do appreciate the kind words. And for what it's worth, I'm happy to be here, with this crew. Going career military would have been an enormous mistake. In your position, I probably would have done the same. Let's talk about something else. Yeah, let's. This has been a fun trip down memory lane, but I'm sure we've both got more important things to worry about. I'd like to express something else. I'll talk to you later, Yang. Bye.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Oh, he does not sound at all like the voice did for him. Our company's MechTech. He speaks Oh no, okay, I'm right. What else do we have? Navigation, star map. Ooh, cool. Let's not go there yet, because I don't want to accidentally do anything.
Yes, Commander?
Sumire. Yes, Commander? Okay, sounds a bit peppy, okay. Hey, Commander, something I can do for you? Does the decision we made about the uncertified contract satisfy your concerns? My concerns won't be satisfied until our creditors have been paid and the loan sharks are off our backs. But this is a step in the right direction, and that makes me happy. I'm not blind to the risks that uncertified contracts entail, by the way. I mean, I know what we're doing is dangerous, but it's the best chance we've got to dig ourselves out of this hole. I've got some questions about navigation. Sure, ask away. I mean, it's kind of important that you understand what you're doing, so if I can help with that, I'm all for it. Tutorial, ship navigation. Okay, navigator, how do we get from system to system? The short answer is that you pick a destination on the star map, and I make it happen. Interstellar travel takes time, sometimes weeks, and it'll cost us sea bills for fuel and passage on a jump ship. But it's the only way for an outfit like ours to survive out here. We go where the work is. What intel can I get about a system before choosing to go there? Enough to make a reasonable informed choice, I think. The star map makes political boundaries clear, so you'll know whose space we're entering. I've reprogrammed the star map to lock out travel to systems designated as no-fly zones. We're looking for work, not an interstellar incident. Beyond political boundaries, the nav system will highlight political faction active in the system. That should give you a good idea of who's hiring. It's probably a good idea to check our reputation with the local factions before ordering a long voyage. That's got to be more intel than just local politics. There is. As you select systems on the star map, you'll see a list of attributes of the MercNet database associated with them. Attributes like black market or poor are clues to local store contents. The type of mercs we'll find in hiring halls, contracts we may be offered, and potential mission environments. If you'll hover over an attribute, the star map will display a longer description for you. Beyond political factions and attributes of a system, perhaps the most important to watch for is the difficulty rating of the merc contracts you'll find there. The MRB maintains a standardized rating system so folks like us who are trolling MercNet for jobs can weigh the risks before accepting a contract. I want to ask about something else. What else can you tell me about the mechanics of space travel? I want to know it all. Well, the long answer is that there's two types of space travel. Travel by dropships, like ours, and travel by jump ships. Dropships travel under 1G of thrust to move from a planet's orbit to a jump point. Jump points are far outside of the gravity well of a star, so to travel to and from a jump takes most of our travel time, sometimes weeks. Jump ships, on the other hand, are like ferries. You just sit at the jump point waiting for folks like us to hatch onto their docking collar. Then we wait there for about 5 days while you spin up your jump drive. Once your jump drive is spun up, popping a dozen light years across interstellar to another jump point takes literally no time at all. I've heard stories about pirate points that a jump ship can use. What are those? They're bad news, Commander. Difficult to locate and dangerous to use. I've heard of people using pirate points in desperate situation or on covert missions, but it's not worth the risks of a misjump. You won't find any pirate points on my star map, I can tell you that. Let's just avoid them. I want to ask about something else. We'll always have to pay our way from system to system? Not always, no. If you check the contracts list in the command center, you'll often find employers posting travel contracts. Travel contracts are how employers attract mercenaries to their system by paying the outfit's travel expense. Ooh, that's really cool. That's fucking awesome! Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not take the travel contract and then skip out on their mission for a more lucrative contract when we arrive? You can do that, Militus. It'll automatically get charged the cost of a jump ship. You know the old saying, there's no such thing as a free ride? Yeah, unfortunately, it's still true. I want to ask about something else. This star mesh confuses me sometimes. Why does it take longer to get to one place than another when the system appear to be in the same distance apart? Yeah, that bothered me too before I joined the academy. Turns out in real life, space travel isn't like you see in Adventure Hollowitz that Darius makes us watch. For starters, some stars are more massive than others. In the case of a really big star, you have to range pretty far afield to find a location suitable for a KF jump. And for us, that means a whole lot of Militus slow sublight travel before we can even dock with a jump ship, let alone ride it anywhere. I did not get any of that. Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Jump ship charging times are the other half of the travel time equation. A jump ship KF drive will take a few days to charge after each jump, so if your destination is a few jumps away, well, you get where I'm going with this. And the long and the short of it, and that's the long and the short of it. Anytime we want to go from one system to another, we'll be talking about weeks of sublight travel, coupled with a healthy dose of hurry up and wait. Exactly how much determines how long the trip is gonna take. Okay, so that's really realistic, I like that. What can we do with a drunken state? What can I do while we're orbiting a system? Beyond negotiating the contract, most inhabited systems maintain a hiring hall where you can recruit new warriors. Be sure to take a look, you never know what kind of talent you're going to find. Most systems also have merchants who can buy and sell hardware such as weapons, equipments and mech parts, sometimes even fully operational battle mechs too. Our reputation with the local faction will influence costs when purchasing equipment and hiring mech warriors. The better our rep, the better the deal we'll get, and the better the mech warriors who will be willing to sign on with us. That's all, Samir. Thanks for the help though. Yeah, sure, anytime. Commander Markham never really paid much attention to this kind of stuff, so your interest is a welcome change. I can show you all kinds of interest. I love this shit. I'm collecting stories about the crew. Tell me about yourself. Well, I'm from a noble family, like you. We're old money. Made our fortune out in Razalhag, then repatriated to the Taurian Concordat. That's where I grew up. I'm not sure if this is the kind of stuff you're hoping to hear, but we can talk about whatever. I'm not shy. Razalhag. A minor interstellar state Concord. Yep, okay. We read that before. Where in the Concordat are you from? I grew up on New Vandenberg. It's a nice enough place, I suppose. Do you like birds? Sure, I guess. Then you'd like New Vandenberg. It's basically one big aviary. Something like 2/3 of the native fauna has feathers, flutters on the wind, and splatters its excrement across every available surface. I don't like birds anymore. Naturally, the original colonists adopted the feathery little monsters into culture, and those of us that came after were kinda stuck with it. Statues, fountains, murals, you name it. Just a giant, feathery pile of screeching alien birds. If the system had a motto, it would be Squawk. Ah, cute. Maybe if I hadn't grown up with it. Where'd you learn to pile a Leopard anyway? Taurian Naval Institute on New Vandenberg. Well, among other places, it's a big campus. The low-quality training station orbiting Lompoc was my second home for a time. TNI flight training isn't usually open to civilians, but my parents had a good credit in back then. And they could name drop Protector Calderon. They'll get you pretty far in the Concordat. For a while, anyway. Protector Calderon. Thomas Calderon succeeded his mother, Zaranta Calderon, as Protector of the Taurian Concordat in 3017. House Calderon leaders are known for their pragmatism and sound judgment. Thomas is no exception. Cool. The other cadets in the class weren't especially happy sharing air with a civvy, but you couldn't say much. I was an ability and they weren't. Every sort of me kept at arm's length, so I had plenty of time to concentrate on my studies. I got my certification in both dropship and jump ship operation in 4 years. I even tried working on a commercial jump crew for a while, once upon a time. The people were fun, but it wasn't for me. The ratio of flying to fly and jump sickness screwed hard in the wrong direction. Flying to... okay. What can you tell me about House Mayor? You're looking at it. My parents are both gone. Blood cancer and heart disease, respectively. Both treatable, but they were out of money at that point, so into the ground they went. Ditto my brother David, who ran off to serve with the Third Succession War and never came back. No. I'm sorry. The galaxy was a war for nearly 200 years, Commander. People died. You don't need to apologize for it. And truthfully, I was never really all that close to any of them. Well, I am. David was 13 years older than me, and had a foot out the door before I turned 3. And my parents? Well, you raised me by proxy. In a traditional noble fashion, there was no real bond there, even when I was young. None of this is to say that my folks were bad people. They weren't. They were just doing what they knew. Their upbringings had been outsourced, just like mine was. Well, you came out well. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about my family. They're gone, I'm here, the end. So, you got another question? Should we get back to our duties? Your family came from Ruslehog? It was a long time ago, but yes, my parents told it. As my parents told it, we were landowners of Pomme de Terre. It's an agricultural world. Sort of the breadbasket of the Draconis Combine. And yes, I know that Pomme de Terre means potato. My ancestors came from the plant potato. It took some time for me to accept that, but hey, here we are. Anyway, here, moving on. House Mayor's holding were meager, but the value of that land was astronomical. For minor nobility, we were really very wealthy. And then the Third Succession War broke out, and the political rhetoric got ugly. House Mayor didn't want a single part of what was happening, so my ancestors emptied their accounts and ran. As a rule, House Carida takes a really dim view of nobles who cut and run, where it's like Thrader and Defector start getting thrown around. In the Combine, you really don't want to be in the receiving end of allegations like that. I wouldn't be standing here today if House Calderon hadn't granted my ancestors, Jesus Christ, asylum in the Concordat. In all likelihood, House Mayor would have been wiped out before I was even born. I'd like to talk about something else. I'll get back to you later, Sumar.
Good day, Commander.
Alright, let's see. Captain's quarters. Finances. Normal, no morale effect, okay. Okay. I might, if I get a choice, lower this, actually. Because I feel like at the start, people are gonna have to make sacrifices. Alright, so all these mechs cost... these cost the same, even though one isn't light. Jesus. Estimated salary cost... Wow. They cost a lot. It's a lot of money. Especially considering what I have. Reputation. Oh damn, I wish I didn't click this, because now I know what I can get reputation with. Wait, I started with 5? I guess everyone starts with 5, okay. There's only 7 factions? That's a bit disappointing. 5 major houses, and then there's the Concordat and the Canopus. And there's also the Mercenary Review Board, I guess. Customized company. Oh! Oh! Oh yes! Holy crap! Yes! Yes! All the fucking yes! Okay, well... This is awesome. I'm making my guild colors. This is awesome. I didn't think you would be able to do this, so I chose this color, I'm guessing. And you can change the logo. Oh, but what logo to go for? Something black and green. Let's see if there is something. Maybe a dragon, since it's our guild logo. Nope. Oh wait, I have one that I had my Paradox icon too. That one should be here, right? No, that's not the one. This one, yes. This is so cool. I love it. No, this is Marauders. Since we're all ghosts, it fits with the guild name. Yes! Oh my god, I love it! Alright, let's check this mission. Contracts. Let me just save first, because this was exciting. So Only have one contract, I guess. We believe there is a pirate lance operating in Bellerophon. With a region we control, all Merrick operations are at risk as long as this lance is allowed to move unimpeded. Patrol the area, find the enemy lance. Straightforward battle, finding a military lance in the backwater, that should be okay. But I do need to check my bay, because I think one was there. Oh, look at the colors! Awesome. Actually, I might switch it around, so that's black and this is green. Yeah, I'm gonna switch it around. Okay, repair. Oh, one day. Let's see, what can I change in this guy? Refit. Okay. Hard points. Oh! Is this energy? Okay, energy, yes, nice. Sweet. Fire supporting skirmisher. Blackjack ones are solid, well-rounded mechs for their tonnage, typically mount jump jets, which give them an extra edge by repositioning quickly to keep it direct. Okay, cool. Can I, let's see, repair all. That doesn't need to be done. Strip equipment, no. Strip armor, no. Mechs are. Oh! I was on another mechs? Wait a minute. Undo. But I was at mechs. Oh, it lowers legs and stuff. Do I want that? Really, but this it lowers the legs, but yeah, I'm gonna do this. I like that. I'm gonna have to check the other mechs too then.
And no. Shouldn't be too hard.
Refit. Fire brawl, fire support brawl. They tend to deal damage to range while moving in for closer attacks. Typically well armored, capable of some surprise attacks due to their jump ability and above average heat. Okay, since it's all long range, I want to get rid of this small laser. Put a medium one in. I know it gives me no diversity, but this one's pretty much all like longer range, so I figure why not. Let's see. No, that means I have too much tonnage now. Oh wait, what if I think I made a medium? That's the same tonnage, shit. Okay. Put the medium in. I'm still a bit above tonnage now, but what if I... Alright. Yeah, small laser from this one doesn't make sense to me.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
It was 12 days if I remember to travel, right? Oh, I should have stopped work. I will be refunded. Was that all the money? Yeah. So I'm gonna do the armor thing. I'm gonna trust the game. Skirmisher and cavalry. Hawk 2 is the perfect example of a jack of all trades. It supports weaponry for all ranges, respectable speed and jump capability, and mounts decent armor. This comes to the cost of excelling in nothing in particular. That's fine.
On it. I'll let you know when that's done.
So let's get the spider refitted. Ooh, that's a lot of jump jets. Do I need that many? I don't feel I need that many. Maybe it's just how far you can jump. Let's see. Jump jet funnels superheat over obstacles. Additionally, they may also be used to perform the dreaded death from above. Standard jump jets are typically... Yeah, you know, I'm gonna take some away. Maybe add in... Oh, there's no hard points except from the middle? That's crap. Another medium laser. Oh, it only has 2 hard points. Shit. What is this one? Support weapon hard points. Small laser. I can get 2 small lasers. Oh, I only have 1. Okay. And I can up it armor because I have extra tonnage now, right? I know it's a light mech, but I'm doing it. Probably a bad idea. Alright, that's... Wait, what about...
Shouldn't be too hard.
Huh? Oh, locusts. MG, medium laser. Can I send this in the... This is probably a bad idea. Wait, what's the pattern? Oh, you can change your looks. It's probably a bad idea, but I want to spare money right now. So... yeah, I'm sure this is gonna be a terrible idea. Oh, nice, the pattern changes. yeah. I can't do it right now while they're working. Okay, I'll do it next time. That's so cool though. That's so cool. Alright, back to command center. And it's 9 days. Is that 9 days on its own, or is that once it gets to its turn it's 9 days? I guess we'll find out. Contracts. Negotiate. The Free Worlds League would like to offer you a choice, Commander. Choice contract, Commander. As the leader of a respected mercenary company, you should find the terms both fair and equitable, I think. Okay. But I said I was gonna go for some rep, so I'll lower this to 1. I'll lower the payment slightly because I'm getting rid of that locust anyway. Oof, that's a lot of payment slow. And you know what? I'm gonna go just this. I think. I don't know. Do I want to do that? No. It's a little reputation, right? A reputation is good. 12 days.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
Engines
Cool.
prime. All hands prepare for transition to thrust gravity. All hands.
That's those jump
stay
ships,
ready
huh?
for thermal
Cool.
maneuvers.
Okay, so they scanned out together, I checked. Cool, cool. Wait a minute. I think I have another support slot for the small one. Yes, I'm gonna do that. Because I got the MGs from the oh. Kitty cat wanted to cuddle, sorry. I was gonna say I have the MGs now from that locust I got rid of, right? You're on the Leopard's bridge with... Sorry if you hear noise, my cat's rubbing against me. You're on the Leopard's bridge with Sumar, Yang, and Darius. For the daily staff briefing, Darius says we've received 3 messages from the banks. Loan sharks, Sumar cuts in. From the people who are financing us, Darius continues. They're considering rewriting the terms of our loans, so it will be easier to seize the ship if we miss payment. As usual, only doing this because they believe we can't fight in court. You know what? I don't want to piss him off. I came from Noble House, let's be diplomatic. I'll talk to them, you say, and the meeting moves onwards. Afterward, you record a response. In it, you explain with much gravitas that you select each of the banks for their prestige and reliability. You remind them of your impeccable payment history. You conclude by expressing your desire for a long and fruitful relationship with them, hinting that you might seek additional loans when your current ones are paid in full. A few days later, the banks contact you to say the previous message was sent in error and should be ignored. The company's credit is currently rated as fair by the banks, which should at least deter them from sending bounty hunters at bounty hunters. Oh shit. Sweet. Okay, so stop. Meg Bay. Okay, I can change your looks now. Yeah, boy. We got the ghost company here, boys. That is good. I can't refit him right now. I'm gonna have to just skip the time. Where do I do that? Star map? Leopard. Nope. Oh yeah, there we go.
I wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
Sweet, I like that auto pauses. Meg Bay. I don't know if we're gonna get there before arriving, but I'll probably go through each part on the ship. So I'm gonna stop this part when we get to the mission. And then the next part will be the mission and up to the next mission. So to make the parts easier. This one was more of a teaching mission, so. Okay, MG ammo. Guess I only one MG ammo should be fine, I guess. Oh, that takes a lot of room. You know what, I'm doing it. Little puncher. It should still have more than now that I have all those jump shots out, so. Let's see, 5 days. That's a shame, but I'll just wait 2 days for it to be ready. Cool. Oh, I didn't check the system and stuff. Fuck, I made mistakes with that. We've arrived. Ready to proceed with our encounter? Not yet.
That work order
Alright.
you submitted is complete.
I'm gonna launch the contract. Let's see what happens. Sweet. Alright, so this is where I'm gonna call it part. And then I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Is there any general info you'd like to share? Share? Maybe our drive system will give out. Maybe some debris will perforate the hill. Note your mech's heat rating in the battle mech lab. Sorry. And install more heat sinks on it. You find that it runs hot in combat. If you find it hot. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm redoing this.